Hello, everybody. How are y'all out there today? I hope y'all are doing just fine. I'm having a pretty decent evening here at home alone. Mr. E is here. He's just not sitting in on the chat with me. I've been looking over a little information on a book I've been reading. It's about men and women and how they're different and how they respond differently to one another. I don't think I can say the name of the book. I'm not really sure, so I'm just not gonna mention it because I'm not really positive, but it has some pretty funny stuff in here. So I was just gonna look over that a little bit and maybe read a couple of little sentences out of it that I thought was kind of funny. It talks about how men and women are so different. I guess I should have did my homework, before I came on here with this. But I'm just waiting on you guys to come in anyhow. So I'm just going to look over it until I start seeing a couple of comments. I think that'll be pretty good. I might even start doing like some little games on here that we could play. I think that would be fun too. But I'll give you a hint without telling you the name of the book. But it says that the men and the women are from two different planets. So that'll give you a little hint of what the book actually is. Let's see, how can we get going here? Butt Nuggets is here. Okay. Hello, lady. And hello to you. How are you doing this afternoon? We got us a good rain here this evening, which we hadn't had rain probably in a month. The ground was very dry and the grass was dying. So we was very, very glad to get that rain this evening. And I told my husband, I said, if we could hear the plants, I bet they're all going, ah. That's crazy, huh? Plants don't talk. So anyway, let's see. We mistakenly assume that if our partners love us, they will react and behave in certain ways, the ways we react and behave when we love someone. So, I mean, I could relate to that. We think that the other person is going to react the way that we would. And a lot of times that's a disappointment because the other person doesn't react the way that we would. Yes, rain tomorrow for us. We are hoping, and cooler. Yes, it was cooler today. It surely was. And we was kind of thinking like you was, we might get the rain and we might not, but we did get it and was very glad of it. And I'm sure the garden is glad of it as well. Very glad of it. I wonder where our other playmates are, the Pudding Tang and um Guap Gutter. Wonder where them two are at. If they're gonna find us and come in with us this evening. It says here that a man's sense of self is defined through his ability to achieve results. Would y'all agree with that? My husband said he agreed with it. He was result oriented. When he does something, he wants to see the results of it. I am too, though, really. I like to see the results of what I'm doing as well. It also says here that to offer a man unsolicited advice is to presume that he doesn't know what to do or that he can't do it on his own. What do y'all think about that? I guess men just don't want advice unless they ask for it. I am not a draw blueprint kind of guy. LOL. A draw blueprint kind of guy. Not you, huh? Okay. It says here that a woman's sense of self is defined through her feelings and the quality of her relationships. I don't know. We better get to the funny part quick, huh? But Nugget Tom said, I enjoy planning stuff with Deborah, though, as long as we don't over plan. Just keep it simple, huh? Yeah, that's probably the best thing to do is keep it simple. I'm gonna turn my little fan on, even though I'm in the house. I didn't turn the air conditioner on. And then I got this sheet hanging back here. I need to have some backdrops coming in, and they're not going to be here probably until the end of next week. So I'm having to deal with this lovely wrinkled sheet here for my background. But I ordered some sheets off of Temu. I don't know if y'all ever heard of that. It's a store in China, I guess. They make all kind of stuff, and you can get a lot of things at really good prices. You just have, if you don't mind waiting on the shipping, because the shipping will take 1 or 2 weeks. Whereas if you order something from Amazon or eBay or something like that, you probably get it in a few days, which I don't know. Amazon, really, it could be a little while for them too. When I first started Amazon, I joined their Prime, and you would order something and you would get it the next day or maybe 2 days later. That was part of the Prime deal. Well, when, the virus or whatever came along, everything changed in the whole world, including that. And now, even still, when you order from Amazon, it still might be a week before you get it. Smaller cycles of testing and redesigning plans is more efficient, in my opinion. Smaller cycles of testing. I hear you. So anyway, back to this Temu thing. You can order stuff from them and get really good prices, but you have to wait longer to get your things in. And I was looking for some sort of a backdrop, something that wouldn't wrinkle too, because this sheet, the first time I put it, I ironed it, and it wasn't bad. I don't guess it wasn't as bad as it is now, because I folded it and put it up and hung it back a couple of times, and so now it's wrinkled. So I'm just dealing with the wrinkles. I said, I'm not ironing this sheet every time I do this. It's a king size sheet. I'm not one to iron, really. And so I was looking for something that wouldn't wrinkle, because the fabrics nowadays, they make stuff that does not wrinkle. You can fold it up and shove it in a shoebox and it won't wrinkle some things. So anyway, I started looking at some of these backdrops, and they very affordable, and they come with all kind of beautiful scenery on them. I'm talking about like waterfalls and caves and woods and just all kind of really pretty designs. So I ordered a couple of them, and I'm just waiting on them to come in. Okay. You ironed it? Yeah, I ironed it. Did I say ironed? Maybe I did. I wasn't paying attention, huh? I ironed it. I guess I did. Well, y'all can tell I didn't earn it today, didn't I? I really like to do these outside because you don't have to worry about what's in the background. But the mosquitoes and the light changing, because I would do them in the evening and go out there, and before you know it, it'd be getting dark on me out there. And I was trying to bring lights out there with me, and that was attracting even more bugs. So I was like, oh no, I can't keep doing it like this. I'm gonna have to go in the house, which I guess I'll get used to it. But I like to do these little lives too in the kitchen. Like the other day I had did one, and this guy came in from Australia, and actually, excuse me, it was Tasmania, which he said was an island off of Australia. And it was like, I want to say it was like 9:30 in the morning or 10:30 in the morning here. And he said there it was like 12:30 in the middle of the night. But he said he worked days. No, he said he worked nights. I don't know. He was up at a strange hour though, and he had tried to explain it to me. I guess I don't remember what he explained. Okay, he says some computer cameras come with built-in ability to have a backdrop. Really? Hmm, I didn't know that. And he also, this is Butt Nuggets again, he says our desktop cam is a NVIDIA, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, and allows us to even have a video as a backdrop. Hides messes. Great. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But Nugget says Steel Pix 2 can be a backdrop. Steel Pix 2, yeah. I'm gonna have to check into that and see if my computer has a built-in ability to have a backdrop. I wouldn't even know where to check on that. Deborah says it's actually the NVIDIA software that allows it. Oh, okay. Well, you see, this here is a Dell, and it just has a little pop-up camera built into the screen, and that's what I'm using. And it may have something like that too, because Dell is really a good product. It may have something like that. I just never thought to even look for it. Graphics card settings, maybe. I'll write that down because I'll look into it a little later. The graphics card settings. That would be neat. Sure would be good. Because I sell stuff on eBay, y'all, and I have boxes of stuff. That's what's behind this. And I know y'all don't want to look at all those boxes. I had went on a live with someone else before, and I didn't, have time to put up a sheet or anything. I just went on there with them, and they was like, "What's all those boxes? Is that canning stuff or what?" And Dell likely does not have it. Well, it's very possible. It would be nice though. I guess I could buy software though, even to put on there that would do the same thing. I'm just not real computer savvy, but I have figured a lot of things out, over the years. Try to figure out stuff how to make my computer work better for me. Because I've learned how to sell on eBay, I've learned how to put videos on YouTube, and learned how to use editing software. So I've learned a good bit, for using my computer actually. Learning how to save files different ways, like those thumbnails, save them with names and the description, putting those descriptions in and everything. There's a lot to learn with a computer. It really is. But I've been having one for a long time. We've been having, and I've always had a Dell. I like the Dell. Maybe because that's what I'm used to. You arm things. Arm things out. LOL. Love that you're not scared. No, I ain't scared. So, what kind of day did you have today? That's what I want to know. What kind of day did you have? I know I had a pretty good day. I was able to do some cooking. I made a chicken pot pie. It was a little unconventional, but I made a video on it and we ate it. We thought it was good. We thought it turned out well. I was able to get some things listed on my eBay, which it's kind of suffering a little bit. I think it's just the economy, people just don't have money to buy stuff that they really don't need to buy. They're saving money and for the things they really have to have. And at the end of the month like this too, a lot of people have run out of money at the end of the month. So you got to do what you got to do, right? I'm going to continue to sell. My sales have just slowed down tremendously. They were doing pretty good. Hot. I work all day on computer. Need to put up dog kennel, but waiting for cool down. Have dog in heat. Uh-oh. Yes, can afford to pay attention even. I'm telling you. Well, I'm glad I don't have a dog in heat. That's for sure. We've had that before. We used to get the Pyrenees dogs, and we'd get a male and a female, and we would allow them to breed, and we would sell the puppies. And we would have people calling and coming to get dogs. And where I live is in the middle of nowhere. It's like the Bermuda Triangle. When I would try to give directions for the people to come out here, and actually that was back in the days before cell phones, so you can imagine the confusion. And I just really didn't like selling dogs because I didn't know. I have a big heart, and I didn't know where those dogs was going to end up at, and that really bothered me. Um, so, when I got to a point where we could afford to have our animals fixed, have our dogs fixed, I started doing that religiously. And so now all the animals that I have 3 dogs, and they're all fixed. And I have a cat, and she's fixed too. So I don't have to worry about the puppies and the kittens and trying to find homes for them. And, I really am enjoying that. I really, really, really am. I had a little dog once, and he was, this was back before I would get my animals fixed. And his name was Poochie, and he's a little short black and white mixed breed dog. And I loved him so much, and he would go missing. When a dog would come in he'd take off and he'd leave. He'd be gone sometime for a week at a time. And it would be so hard on me not knowing where he was. And I would call the neighbors. Have you seen Poochie? He's a little black and white dog. And I'd describe what he looked like and everything. And I would actually go ride and take leads on where they had seen him and try to find him. And one of the times I found him, he was over a mile from the house. He was probably 2 or 3 miles from the house in the back of somebody's field. And when I drove up back there and seen him, he just looked at me like he didn't even know who I was. But there was a female out there that he had been chasing. We tried doing that, selling pups, but we live way out too. We have Great Pyrenees Anatolian Shepherd mix. That's some good dogs. They really are. We had those for years. And when we did not have any trouble at all with predators on our property because we always raise goats and chickens. We have sheep now too. Just can't budget the fixing yet. Currently have 10 dogs. Ugh, but we love them. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I know. I mean, I couldn't fix mine for years either. I finally was in a position where I was able to fix them. And what happened was the first one I got that was fixed was I had got it from a shelter. And when you get a dog from a shelter around here, it has to be fixed. Now, the one that I got was a puppy, so it wasn't fixed when I got it, but it was in the adoption price, and the adoption price I want to say was like $95. And they gave me the paperwork to be able to bring the dog to the vet, and the price would all be taken care of, the cost would all be taken care of whenever the dog came to the right age to be fixed. And so that's the first animal that I experienced having that. 2 are going to new home of friends soon. Ours used to wander, but we got a couple acres fenced for them now. We'll get in there. Yeah, that's fences help tremendously, and good fences help even more. And we've got some of both, good fences and bad fences. Yes, no predators here. Can hear coyotes every night, but they don't come near us. That's right. Those animals, they are amazing. You can't beat them. A Pyrenees and that Anatolian, and you have a mixture of them. So I know that's some good dogs. Some good guard dogs. They are good guard dogs. And not only for the predators, but for other, like, people come around your house snooping and they see those big dogs and they look intimidating, but they're actually very friendly. You can have them around children. They're very friendly and good animals. Yeah, the coyotes don't come near when you have that. Nothing will. Anything that's out there is not going to come and bother your stock because those animals will defend it. They make very big rounds on your property. That was one of the problems, if you want to call it that, with the Pyrenees that we had, is that they would make such big rounds for what they considered their territory. They was actually making rounds that was outside of my property. And I had some problems with some of my neighbors. They didn't like that. So that's the only reason that I don't have any right now. Yep, it is right. Sure enough. But I loved them. That was some good animals. The first ones we got, we named them Ann and Dan. I don't know if you ever read that book, oh, Where the Red Fern Grows. That was a good little book, y'all. I don't read a whole lot of books, but that was a very good book. And they have a movie on it too. If you don't like reading books, Where the Red Fern Grows, it's an older movie, but it's just so good. It's a really good movie, y'all. Ann and Dan. That was the name of the dogs on that movie. No raccoons. No raccoons. Armadillos. Skunks. Nothing. Cats too. For rodents. So you saying you have some cats too? Or the Pyrenees keep the cats away? I'm not sure if I'm reading that right. But the cats do help keep the rodents away also. They surely do. We call them a good mouser. We always did have cats, especially well, we always had cats and dogs even when I was growing up. And the cats would be good mousers. That's what Mom always said. And they'd bring the mice up to the porch sometime after they killed it. They'd bring it up there like to show you what they had done for you. Have two barn cats. Uh-huh. Yeah. You know, that cat I have, um, when I fixed her and everything, I wanted to get her fixed because I didn't want to have kittens, but I was kind of scared about fixing her because I didn't know if she would still hunt the same, you know. I didn't know if maybe that would make her lazy. And a lot of animals, when you fix them, they get lazy and they just want to lay around and eat and sleep and do nothing else. But the cat is not like that. She does come in during the day and she finds her a place to park herself and she'll sleep all day. And then when the sun starts going down, like just a little while ago before I came in here, she was ready to go out. I opened the door. She was ready to go out. She went on out and she won't be ready to come back in until the morning. And when I get up in the morning, I'll go to that door and open it up. And she'll be waiting right there. And she's ready to come in and eat. But she does kill mice. But I know it she does because I've seen her do it. And I've also seen her bring dead mice up to the porch and also those little voles. I've seen those as well that she's brought up here. We had mouse fire right after our last set of cats died. Must not be saying that right. Mouse fire right after our last set of cats died. We'll never be without cats again. You must mean you had a big old problem with some mice or rats, we did too. Because I was without cats for a while as well. And we got a feed shed because we got animals. You got to store the feed. Well, after a while, we did start having a problem. And I said, I want to see what's going on in this barn that night. So, and I have some cameras around the house, you know, where I can see what's going on around the house and everything outside. And I could move them. So I said, I'm going to take one of them cameras and put it in that barn in that feed shed at night. And I want to see what's going on in there because it looked like it was quite a party going on. Electrical fire due to mice. Uh-huh. That's what it was. You had told me about that fire last time. I didn't realize it was from the mice. But mice love electrical wires. I don't know why they want to chew on that. It got to zing them. Maybe that's what they like. But they sure do. They sure do. I hate them things. But when we set them cameras in that feed shed, it was something else. I guarantee you it was a call to action. And we did make a big call to action. We got on them and we used some stuff called One Bite, and we used sticky traps, and we used the old wooden snap traps, and I mean, we had it loaded. And I left my cameras in there to see, and the cameras they could see in the dark. These cameras, so we would turn the lights out and leave the cameras in there. And do you know those rats? Because they were rats. They weren't just mice. They were rats. They they would avoid those traps. I don't know how they knew they was there, but they would jump. I guess they can see in the dark too. But they would jump over them and around them, anywhere but getting in them. The one bite was what helped us to get rid of them. We hardly caught any of them in those traps, the sticky traps or those snap traps. They avoided that like the plague. Nice choice of words, huh? But that was something else. I wish I had that footage to show y'all because that was something else. I'm sure sorry y'all had to deal with that fire. That must have been horrible. Even imagine going through something like that. I'm glad you weren't hurt. I'm glad y'all were able to get out because they say once a fire starts in a house like that, it doesn't take very long, to be a situation where you should not be in there at all. So was y'all home and realized it and got out, or did this occur when y'all weren't home? Oh man, can't imagine that. Maybe you don't even want to talk about that, huh? Probably not. The outpouring of help that we got was amazing, though. We considered ourselves lucky. It's nice when you see a outpouring of help like that. It makes you realize there's still some good in humanity. There's so many times, I get down and discouraged and I think it's just so much going on in the world and it's a bad place and not a safe place and stuff like that. And then when something like that happens and so many people come out to help you, it just gives you a whole other outlook on the whole situation. Had guests who noticed the fires, and we all got out the morning of Black Friday, 2021. Water was froze this morning. That morning. That morning. Yeah, not this morning. That morning. Lost all 3 vehicles too, but we're fine now. In 2021, man, the world was upside down then too, beside that. So y'all really had it. Y'all really had it. And the water was froze that morning, so y'all couldn't put it out, huh? Well, the odds was stacked against y'all. At least y'all weren't in the house. Thank goodness. That's so sad because I've had friends that have lost their houses like that. And it's so sad because they talk about how they lose their photographs. Mainly, that seems to be like the main thing people say that they lost that meant so much to them was their photographs. Because you can't get that back. Now people take pictures with their phones and everything. I guess if you save it to the cloud, like they call it, then you would be able to get your pictures. But I used to take a lot of pictures, so I have a lot of pictures here, and I don't have any pictures saved to the cloud. I guess that's another one of those computer things I need to learn for sure. We got us a new grandbaby, and I would like to get some pictures of her and save them too.